In March 2025, while the world's media was busy with political affairs, an incredible deal worth $23 billion was concluded behind the scenes. It was announced that the important ports of the Panama Canal would be returned to U.S. control. At first glance, it may seem like a simple geopolitical move, but there is another truth behind it. The main architect of this deal is not an elected head of state. Rather, it is the world's most powerful and terrifying corporate organization, BlackRock. Many people think that the US president is the most powerful person in the world. But if you see the influence of Larry Fink and his organization BlackRock behind the scenes, your idea is bound to change. Currently, they not only own the company, but also control the main bloodlines of the world system. From airports to gas pipelines to power grids. Everything is now a pawn on Larry Fink's board. How did this invisible empire of BlackRock in the world economy develop? How did the son of an ordinary war salesman become the unwritten president of the world today? And why is it being said that the collapse of BlackRock means the collapse of the entire world system? We will try to find the answers to these questions in today's episode. The story begins in the late 60s. Larry Fink, an ordinary teenager in California. While his peers are dreaming of social revolution, Larry is thinking about how to become one of the most powerful people in the world. Although he initially had a penchant for politics, a few real estate classes at UCLA turned his life around. In 1976, Larry stepped into Wall Street's prestigious investment bank First Boston. At that time, Wall Street had one main mantra. And that was money. And Larry was a magician in creating that money. He came up with a strange financial product. Mortgage-backed securities, or MBS. This idea of creating an investment product by combining the home loans of thousands of people made Larry a legend on Wall Street in a very short time. At the age of 31, he became the youngest managing director in the history of First Boston. But overconfidence proved to be his downfall. In 1986, Larry took a huge risk. He bet that interest rates would rise. But the result was the opposite. Interest rates fell. Due to a small numerical error on paper, Larry Fink's company lost $100 million in an instant. Larry became a castaway on Wall Street overnight. From this disaster, Larry realized a profound truth. Risk is an addiction. It can make you rich on one hand, and it can destroy everything in an instant. He vowed that in the future he would become a master of risk management. This promise was the seed of the birth of BlackRock. In 1988, Larry started BlackRock with $5 million in capital from Stephen Schwarzman's Blackstone. His main mantra was to combine sophisticated risk analysis with investments. But there was a secret weapon behind BlackRock's meteoric rise. Its name is Allergen. Allergen is not just a software. It is the heart of BlackRock's empire. It can analyze billions of data in the world in an instant to tell if there is a disaster coming in the market. During the 1994 stock market crash, when the whole world was in a state of panic, BlackRock was completely safe thanks to Allergen. After a conflict with Searchman in 1994, Larry took full control of BlackRock. After that, BlackRock was no longer just an asset manager company, they became the gold standard of Wall Street. Today, BlackRock's competitors like Vanguard or State Street also depend on this Allergen for their risk management. Currently, about $12.5 trillion of assets in the world are being tracked through Allergen, which is more than 7% of the global economy. Interestingly, the same mortgage-backed securities, MBS, that Larry Fink created in the 1970s were the main cause of the global financial crisis in 2008. But Larry knew the risks beforehand and kept BlackRock away from it. When the world's big banks like Bear Stearns or Lehman Brothers were collapsing like a house of cards, Larry Fink saw a golden opportunity. He bought Barclays Global Investors, BGI, for $13.5 billion. This deal made BlackRock the world's largest asset manager. Through this, they became the sole owner of the iShares or passive ETF market. The most interesting thing is that during the 2008 crisis, the U.S. central bank itself called the Federal Reserve for help, because the Fed did not have the technology to analyze the market. It is said that Fed official Timothy Ethner called Larry 21 times in one day. BlackRock decided which banks would be bailed out and which ones would not. In this way, BlackRock, a private institution, became the unwritten rule of the American economy. Behind BlackRock's sky-high power, there is a very strategic politics called the revolving door. BlackRock's top officials are appointed to high government positions. On the other hand, former government officials retire and join BlackRock in big positions.